Okay, Reggie. Going back to Suge's podcast on his latest episode, he talked a bit about death row artists being jealous of Tupac and Tupac's success. I wanted to get your thoughts on that and what your perspective was, if you agreed or didn't agree with that.
Yeah, you know what? I also saw the Daz responded to that, and I'll play that later. But before we get into playing that, I I swear I saw nothing but love being around Death Row. As we all know, I was just security then, but I was a different type of security because I was security owner that was always with Suge, hanging with Suge. But yes, my role was just chief of security for Death Row at the time when Pac was alive, and being around the artists. But I would always hear from Suge, and then of course after I started going up and visiting Suge during those 5.5 years, I tell y'all we talked about a lot of things, everything. And it's just until we came up with this YouTube world and hearing interviews on YouTube and stuff that I started to kind of be like, damn, man, people felt that way about Pop. They felt that way. Because initially, I didn't observe that. It appeared to be all love. Now, of course, the Dre thing went down, but that was mainly, which I always tell y'all, I know people get mad, but that was mainly because of Miss Chalet. And that Dre got tired and left. Now, Pac and Suge turned it on people and presented to the artists in this meeting like it was because Dre refused to come and support Snoop during the murder trial was the reason that they felt he was just being disloyal, and Dre wasn't coming up to the studio and recording and working like the other producers were, like Quick and Daz and Meech and Johnny J and all of them were always being around. And so people forget, I know, Dre wasn't coming around a lot then, but number one, he didn't like that atmosphere. But two, and more importantly, he had a studio at his house. But three, nigga was on house arrest. A lot of times he couldn't come even if he wanted to. And so that's my opinion. That's what I observed as far as the jealousy. Now, I do agree with you that a lot of artists, from their statements later, had some built-in, deep down jealousy towards Tupac. So, yeah, I agree with you on that. But I got a point I want to make, because I talked to a producer earlier in the week when he heard it, and he brought up some great examples. And I'm going to try to call him and see if I can get him. Now that I know this phone stuff works and all of that, I'm going to try to call him and let him explain to him his opinion, because he broke it down well to me. If that's okay for you, John, if you give me a second to try to get him on the phone. All right. This is the producer I got on the phone that's about to come on with us. Hey, Dharp.
Hey, hello.
Hey, okay, that's my boy Dharp, y'all. Dor Harper. Let me explain to those that don't recognize his name. And y'all done saw him on Art the Dialogue channel. Y'all know his work. Once y'all hear it, I don't let John call it out. I'll let John call it out so we can give him a proper introduction. Because once y'all hear the songs that he did, y'all be like, all right, he was a hell of a producer. And for those of y'all that's new to Dharp, John, could you just right quick give us a few of the, I think he did about 5 or 7 songs with Makaveli.
He definitely did a lot. So he did White Man's World, Crazy. What else did Daryl Harper do? Me and My Girlfriend, I believe.
He did some of Still I Rise.
No, Me and My Girlfriend was on Makaveli, but let's see. Life of an Outlaw, you were on that. I believe you did As the World Turns, if I'm not mistaken, from Still I Rise.
Yes, Still I Rise.
That's what.
And a good amount of stuff even on One Nation. So Dharp has a lot of stuff. So
Yeah. So I'm going to let Dharp put his opinion in for him being an artist or a producer that was around Death Row at the time. And let's hear his take. He's one of those dudes that speaks very well, that breaks it down real well. He's not like me. He's not harsh. He don't talk bad about nobody. And so that's why a lot of people be scared with Red. But Dharp, go ahead and talk, man. Just
Man,
tell
look,
us.
of course, everybody, the friends I know, been calling me, telling me about the interview, and I got a chance finally to listen to it. And as you know, like I've stated to you several times, Reggie, I'm crazy about Daz and everybody in the dog.
Matter of fact, I'm going to cut you off right quick. I want you to listen to Daz's response too, so you can also respond to his. I want you to listen to that right quick. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Yo, I got a problem with this. You know, people always saying that Snoop, Dr. Dre, us, everybody, we was jealous of Tupac. How can we be jealous of Tupac and we made Tupac? You know what I'm saying? We put that album together. We came over there. We gave him music. We did that. We wanted him to be the man of the man. You know what I mean? So how was we jealous putting his album together? You know what I'm saying? Taking songs from us and giving it to him. How is that jealousy? The only jealousy there was Suge Knight in his ear and everybody's ear causing confusion. Look at that motherfucker now. You know what I mean? All on this little podcast, always talking shit. Kill that noise. The Dog Pound, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, none of us. We was never jealous of Tupac. Because we can go in the streets and hang out and do whatever the fuck we want to do. He was limited for what he had to do. And we was the one that was producing and creating a masterpiece. All eyes on me. So who's jealous? I think Suge Knight was jealous. Yeah.
So my response is, you know, I love Daz. I love the Dog Pound. I know you guys have your differences here and there. That's nothing to do with Dharp.
Exactly.
Daz is a legend to me and all that. But when he said we made Tupac, that's what everybody called me about. Now, I'm not on their level, so I'm not trying to profess that, oh, yeah, they called me something. No, but I did get a chance. I was blessed enough to work with Pac on several different projects. And one thing that I know that I observed, Pac didn't need none of us. He really didn't, to me. And one way I could actually prove it, on All Eyes on Me, he had Dre, Quick, Warren Campbell, Priest, Daz. He had all these great, phenomenal producers.
DJ Quick.
And I said Quick.
Okay.
So Quick is like one of my favorites. So he had all of these people on that project. And that was a phenomenal piece of work, man. To take that out of hip hop, you putting a big hole in hip hop. If you took that album away from hip hop, that was great. But I say that to say, juxtaposed to that, you put that on the side to Makaveli, which I was blessed to have a part in. I had 5 songs on it. I'm not half as skilled as a Daz or a Warren Campbell or any of the other names I mentioned. I'm not even the least bit on their level. But he took the skills that me and Tyrone had, and he went platinum again. And then another project, he went platinum, multi-platinum again, Still I Rise. I had 3 songs on there. Then he did, what's the other one? Better Days. So everything he touched was Midas. He had that gold touch. So I think we were given the gift that he jumped on any of our tracks. And I think of the tracks that they had were wonderful. But I can't think of another artist who would have sold what they sold if his voice wasn't on it. It would probably been a good song on the radio. But with his fire and his insight, I don't believe. But let me say this one thing, man, because I don't want to talk your ear off. But I believe this, man. When Snoop came in the game, him and Dog Pound, they shook the world the same way, man. It's like everybody was chewing up the mic back then. Sounded like WWF, like they about to do a wrestling match or something. Everybody was yelling on the mic. Snoop came in with the 1, 2, 3 into the 4. Hey, slow it down. And he killed the world with that. And nobody saw it coming. I believe that when they went and got Pac, like Snoop said, hey man, I told him to go get Pac. Okay, I believe Snoop did that.
I know.
But I don't believe that, okay, I'm just saying, I don't believe that them or Pac knew it was about to be Pac's moment like it was Snoop's moment earlier. I believe when Pac came to Death Row, it was the time for him to actually to go into orbit. Like he had already had a following, but it was time for him to go to that next level.
Correct. I agree with that.
Yeah. So that's what we
basically what I get from it, and John, I'll let you chime in as well, because I love your input, especially when it comes to this music stuff. But basically what I get is that the producers and all of that helped Pac, but we didn't make Pac. Pac would have been a star if he would have rapped on a beat, Old MacDonald or whatever. And,
Man, if he did Mary Had a Little Lamb, today we'd be seeing Mary another way. He would have made that happen too.
Gotcha.
It was his time.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't care what he rapped to. Listen to the stuff that we did. And look what he put to it. He found himself in that and made that happen.
And just so you guys know what we're responding to mainly, even though we led into talking about Suge, because we in agreement with Suge that people and producers and artists were jealous. Totally in agreement with Suge. We just responding to the statement of Daz is what we responded to. And as Daryl has said, no disrespect to Daz. This is his opinion, and I think it's my opinion, and I'd love to hear what John's opinion is on what Daryl and I just stated. And then I'll let Daryl clean it up. Clear.
Yeah, I did want to ask Daryl, and you can tell me if this is valid. I know on a lot of Tupac's handwritten track lists for stuff like Makaveli and whatnot, there's an important thing that a lot of people don't really pick up on, and that's that, and you can speak to this because you worked with him, he would always put all songs co-produced by Tupac. From your perspective in working with him, did he have a lot of input and suggestions and whatnot on the beats that you and Hurt 'Em Bad and stuff did later on?
He had a lot. He had insight. He had vision. The first one that I know that he definitely had a lot to do with was Bomb First. Bomb First, it was similar to something he had did, anthem he had did before, and he wanted to have some similarity to that. And then I could name several beats, some of them that haven't come out yet. You know, we had several other songs that still haven't been released yet that he would come in and say, no, do this, or make the bass do that, or go faster, right? I mean, he had input. He had a vision, and he wanted that vision to be expressed.
All right, here comes the hater side of Reggie coming out. Yes, Tupac do have input and stuff like that, like Daryl just said. But the reason why people did co-executive produce or co-produce is because we had a term, and Daryl knows this term. He done heard it plenty of times, I'm sure. Don't fatten the frogs to feed the snakes.
To feed the snake. That was Suge saying.
And so what he means by that is, hey, I'm giving you an opportunity to blow up, but you gonna give me half of this publishing. I.e., I go listen to some interviews done by people that Beyonce, once she blew up, start allowing to be on her records and stuff like that. Where y'all see Beyonce as co-producer on. That's just a part of the game that a lot of people don't like to talk about, don't like to hear about, but a lot of people, once they blow up, they be like, hey, you gonna give me some of that producer credit, some of that production credit. And that's what Pac did to Daryl and to Tyrone and to anybody I think that wanted to be on Makaveli.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, with me, I still feel honored just
Exactly.
that he would even come in the room and even consider me. You got to remember, man, when we did this stuff, Phil gave us an allowance to go to Guitar Center and buy this equipment, and we were learning it as Pop was walking in saying, hey, man, I want to do that beat right there. I mean, we was like, really? You'll take this? You got to remember, we listening to Priest and them and whoever else in the next room killing some stuff. And you will come in here and take this. I still feel honored today. It's like surreal. I don't believe that was my experience, that one day wake up and I'm in the room with Pac and he's in there every night messing with me. That was so I'm honored that he would co-produce or say something in my favor or allow me to be on, say I like that idea and then put it out.
Yeah.
So that right there, you can't replace that.